Do you believe in time travel? Welcome to a world where time is not what it seems. A world where the past, present, and future may not be as fixed as we once believed. This is the world of time travel conspiracies, where the truth is shrouded in mystery and deception. For decades, whispers of secret government experiments and covert time machines have echoed through the halls of science and science fiction alike. But what if these whispers were more than just fiction? What if they were a warning, a call to action against a power-hungry elite seeking to control time itself? Hello, and welcome to The Hidden Agenda. In this video, we will journey into the heart of the time travel conspiracy, exploring the theories, evidence, and controversy surrounding this enigmatic topic. Join us now as we uncover the secrets of time travel and discover whether it is a marvel of human ingenuity or a dangerous tool in the wrong hands. Firstly, let's figure out what time travel is. Time travel is a popular concept in science fiction, but there is currently no confirmed evidence that it is possible in real life. Time travel happens when an object or person travels from one time to another, but the amount of time that passes for them differs from what passes for everyone else. For instance, imagine Isha travels in a spaceship for 1 hour according to her own clock, but when she returns home, 2 hours have passed on Earth. That means Isha has time traveled because the time she experienced during her journey differed from the time experienced by people on Earth. Now let's talk about the conspiracies. There have been several claims of time travel throughout history, but most of them are not supported by any credible evidence. Many of these claims have been debunked as hoaxes or the work of science fiction writers. It is also worth noting that many of the time travel stories are rooted in popular culture and science fiction rather than actual scientific evidence or research. And one of them is John Titor's story. In November 2000, a man with the handle Time Travel Zero wrote on an online message board that he was from the year 2036 and could travel through time. He said his name was John Titor and that he was from a dystopian future with war, famine, and destruction. He told us that what would happen to him would also happen to us, and he suggested that we get ready by stockpiling weapons and food. He also showed diagrams of how his time machine works to explain how it works. It is the year 2036. After a surprise nuclear attack by Russia in 2015, the U.S. infrastructure had fallen apart. Groups of survivors have been trying to fix up the country and make a living in what looks like a modern version of the Old West. In John's future, it is possible to go back in time. Years ago, the technology was created at CERN in Switzerland. It is mostly used by the military. After a few months of Titor's messages, he suddenly claimed to have to move back to the year 2036. That was strange. But then, even stranger things started to happen. The people who liked Titor online couldn't let him go, but he disappeared. He said he was going back to his own world line, even though some of his predictions haven't come true, like the idea that World War III would start in 2015. It's been more than 20 years since John Titor's first appeared online. Some people think that his visit to the past might have changed things, but others think he just made it all up. Either way, people are still fascinated by his time-traveling adventure, and it shows how much we love the idea of things that are mysterious and fantastical. Andrew Carlssin. Once upon a time, a man named Andrew Carlssin made headlines all over the world for a jaw-dropping feat. He allegedly made millions of dollars in the stock market using information from the future. In March 2003, Carlssin invested a mere $800 in the stock market and turned it into a mind-boggling $350 million in just 2 weeks. The authorities couldn't believe it and were convinced that Carlssin was guilty of insider trading. When they arrested Carlssin and interrogated him, they heard an unbelievable claim from him. Carlssin boldly declared that he was a time traveler from the year 2256. This was the beginning of a strange and mysterious journey that captivated people around the world. Despite being locked up for a month and scheduled to face a court trial, Carlssin was suddenly released when an unknown benefactor paid his $1 million bail. And just as quickly as he had appeared, Carlssin disappeared without a trace. But the story didn't end there. It turned out that Carlssin had accurately predicted the U.S. invasion of Iraq during his interrogation, and there were no records of him before December 2002, when he claimed to be from the future. The FBI searched high and low for Carlssin, but he was nowhere to be found. Was Andrew Carlssin a mastermind investor or a daring time traveler? No one knows for sure, but his tale of massive wealth and vanishing without a trace will continue to captivate and intrigue people for years to come. Rudolph Fentz. In the middle of June 1951, around 11:15 p.m., People walking through Times Square in New York City saw a 29-year-old man dressed in the style of the late 1800s. No one saw how he got there, and as he stood in the middle of an intersection, he looked lost and confused. Before anyone could help, he was hit by a taxi and died from his injuries. Rudolph Fentz was the individual who turned out to be this mystery man. Not only did he look strange and out of place because he was confused, but what was in his pockets was also strange. He had a letter from 1876, a metal coin that could buy a beer at an unknown tavern, a receipt for taking care of a horse and carriage, a few old business cards, and some cash. Okay, so anyone can wear an old suit, carry around some old papers, and walk around busy Times Square, but there's not much about this story that makes me think of traveling through time. First of all, none of the papers or clothes was yellowed, stained, or torn. They were all brand new. It was also not clear why the young man was lost and walking around the middle of one of the busiest streets in the US. Also, the police couldn't find any recent records for Rudolph Fentz. However, when they looked through their older records, they found a man named Rudolph Fentz went missing in 1876, which was the same date on the letter he was carrying. Time-traveling hipster. In 1941, a photograph was taken at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia. But what's so interesting about it is that it allegedly shows a man dressed in present-day clothing, including sunglasses and a printed t-shirt, standing among the crowd. Many people believe that this was evidence of a time traveler, but upon further research, it was discovered that the man's clothing was actually a lot less futuristic than it appeared at first glance. The sunglasses, for example, were first introduced in the 1920s, while the shirt was a sweater with a sewn-on emblem, similar to ones worn by sports teams at the time. Despite this, the photograph went viral and became known as the time-traveling hipster. It was even presented as a case study at the Museums in the Web 2011 conference in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As we've explored in this video, the idea of time travel has captured the imagination of people all over the world, from alleged sightings of time travelers in old photographs to unexplained incidents that defy logic. The possibility of traveling through time fascinates us. While the idea of time travel may seem like something out of science fiction, it's important to remember that there is still so much we don't know about the universe and the laws that govern it. Who knows what discoveries the future holds? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating explorations of the unexplained. See you in the next video.